Alright, Magicycle Ocelot and Ocelot Pro owners, I'm going to change out the controller on the Ocelot Pro, show you how it's done. Pretty simple job, but let's get started. We need to take this off. There's 5 bolts around it, so let's get to it. And these are square or Phillips. So we'll take these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws out. And these screws are just holding on the plastic cover here. This has 2 covers, one here and one inside. The inside one is a metal cover and has several more screws. All right, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more Phillips screws. Okay, those screws are out. Now this plate will come off. Now pay attention that your cadence sensor and its placement. A little bit critical to get it in the back in the same space or spot. So one thing you might want to do is just take a picture. Okay, now you can take a screwdriver or something and just mostly pry that off. It's just a little stuck. Then this will come off. Here's your controller. To get the controller out, you just pull it. It'll come right out. Then you're going to have wires. And what we're going to need to do is snip this here. This is a cable tie, so just reach in here, snip the cable tie, pull it out. Make sure you have replacement cable ties for this work. And then, so now this is released. So now all you have to do is pull this. Now we've separated the motor controller from the motor. So this will release a lot of this pressure here, and this makes this much easier to come out. So then what we'll do is we'll just bring this here, at least to this spot here, and then it's rather congested in here. There's other wires, so just take your time and you will get it out. The other thing you can do is these wires are all color coded. You can just undo them all. And the good thing about these, this is done very nicely because this is a very nice controller. Magicycle did a good job buying something that is very easy to replace. These are called Juliet plugs right here. These are just push-on waterproof plugs. So very easy to do. Now, I'm just going to work some room here. If you want, you can take this off and pull it out, and then it'll give you about that much more room, half a pencil thickness room, to help you maneuver this cable out. So I'm just going to pull harder, and I've got it out. Now that's the way you remove your controller from the Ocelot Pro. So what we'll do is we'll also read these off so you know the type of controller we have. Controller for brushless motor, rated voltage 52 volts, maximum current 22 amps, rated current 11 amps, low voltage protection 42 volts, throttle adjustment voltage 1.2 volts to 4.4 volts. Part number LSW 1138 it's either 5058 or 56-1E. And it's from www.lsdzs.com. And this was produced in 2022. Let's see if we can get an image there and see. All right, so let's come back to here. Now we have everything out of here we need to do. Now we want to replace this with a new controller. So make sure you've created enough room back here that you can slide the controller through without a lot of effort. So you take your new controller, the first one you want to get through, well, the only one you really need through is this big motor controller pin. So because Magicycle has double wall here, you just kind of got to work it. Fortunately, this is long enough to get through the first one, and then kind of push it through, guide it with your finger on the back side. It came out, so it will go back. And there it is. So we'll just pull it through and guide it down the space where these others are. All right, so now it's down. Now we need to assemble these 4 other plugs where they go. So just look for the right color and put them the way they go. There's a notch here. There's a notch here. Both are at 6 o'clock, so I'm going to snap those together. Okay, now I'm going to move to the orange one. The orange one here is at 6 o'clock, and it's at 6 o'clock here. I'm just going to put those together. Okay, the next one. These are harder to see because the notches are further back into the plug, but fairly easy on this one. Here's the notch right there. And fortunately, these plugs are absolutely different plugs. If you notice, this is a two-prong plug. If you look down in here, there's 2 prongs in here. So let's get that one done first. So we take the 2-prong plug, which is this one, and we have a notch aligner, and we will align that notch. Here it is, and here it is, and just push them together. Now that's aligned and in. So our last one is the one with the most pins. So we take this one and we look at it and we say, okay, where's my notch? My notch is here. On this one, my notch is, I'm going to put it straight up at 12 o'clock so I can hold it. So there it is at 12 as I come here, and here it is at 12 o'clock. So I should be able to, and you can see right here there's 2 arrows. Push those together until it snaps a couple of times, and now it's all the way in. So that's all there is to changing out the controller. At this point, what I would do is I'm going to shove these back up in here, and I'm going to take the motor portion, the motor controller, and I'm going to pull it down. And now I'm going to set this back in here the way it goes, and I'm going to put these cables nicely looped in here. Magicycle gives you plenty of room. So just kind of put the cables back in here like so, and there we go. Now, you do have enough room to pull a little bit of the motor controller cable out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to align this one. So we take this, and here's our alignment. So our alignment is this little flat spot here, and this little flat spot here, and you push them together, flat to flat. As those go together, you'll know. And now all we have to do is get a zip tie. We'll run our zip tie through here. We'll run our zip tie to here. And I want to make sure I have my cables away from the tire. I don't want them near the tire because it's a little bit close room in there. So I'm going to try to lift them up and get them over here. Now it's not exactly where they were when I did it. They were actually a little closer to the tire. I just want them there. And then I'm just going to take my nippers and nip that off. We did not have to move the cadence sensor to do this. Do not have to remove the cadence sensor. Now, if you're unsure, you can come up here and turn the bike on and see that the bike comes on. So I'll get up and look. So the bike came on. Now the only thing I really am going to test that our motor worked. So the motor works. So now all that's left is putting this back together. Pretty simple, just the way we did it before. Put it on, align the holes, start the screws by hand. If you want, you can put them on the screwdriver as well. And it might benefit you to put them on the screwdriver once you get a couple of them started. And there's no need to over tighten these, just get them up to it, snug it, and a little bit more, and you'll be good. Just flat enough. When you look at these 5 holes, these are the 5 holes that the outer guard screw into. Now put the 5 screws back in it. And certainly get them all started before you tighten one up. Just gives you a little bit of playroom, a little bit of wiggle room. And there we go. So that's now back together.